guys, so today I'm going to be going to the pet store and just looking at different hamster supplies and stuff, so yeah. Okay, so I'm in the fish section, and as you can see they have a little fish hideout, so I would not use these for your hamster. They're unsafe to chew and the holes are quite small. Now I'm just looking at all the hay. This is safe to use. Hamsters don't necessarily eat hay, but it's good as nesting material. They have all different types of hay. You can use any of them as long as they're not very dusty. I like to use ones of herbs, oat hay, all that stuff is good for your hamster. Now I'm just looking at the hamster food. Sadly, none of the hamster food at pet stores are safe. Here's some that are very low in variety. I wish pet stores would sell food that's good for hamsters, but it's just not. Here's some Sunburst. I accidentally grabbed the mouse and rat one, but I definitely do not recommend you buy your hamster Sunburst. Here's some Sunburst. You can pause it, but the ingredients in this are just not good and not suitable for your hamster, so please do not get your hamster Sunburst. Now over here I'm just looking at some hamster treats. All of these ones are unsafe. Here's yogurt drops, which are way too high in sugar and unsuitable for your hamster. And then they have some chews. These ones have dyes on them, so they're no good. Do not ever get your hamster ones that have dyes. That one's good over there. But ones like these are definitely better, that are more natural. Here's some herbs that I love to see herbs. And then there's also some bendy bridges, some other chews. Ones like these are good. But then over here there's ones with the dyes. Again, do not use these ones. This one also has some unsafe materials in it, so definitely would not ever get those for your hamster, especially since the dyes. And then over here are some better chew toys that you can use for your hamster. There's water bottles, which are no good. And then there's some bowls. This is probably the only one I would use for water, though. It's kind of big, though. And then there's some more bowls. These ones could be good for like a small dig box, like a dwarf hamster. And then this was advertised as a sand bath, way too small for a sand bath or a dig box, though. And then here are some hamster hides. Would not use this one. The holes are too small and I'm not so sure how safe the materials are. And the next to it are these cardboard tubes which have cotton fluff in them, which is no good for your hamster. There's a lot of problems with that. Then there's this fabric hide, only for playpens is it suitable. There's this really cute bridge. Then there's this really pretty hedgehog hide. I really liked this one. And then there's some more stuff. Then down here is hamster balls. Do not use these ever. Then over here is some bedding. These are all okay, just paper bedding. They didn't have any scented. This one's supposed to be extra absorbent. I don't know about it though. And then they have some more bedding. This one's good. Carefresh is amazing, but they do have an extra thick one, which is not good for the main bedding as it will not hold burrows. More extra thick bedding. This one's good for dig boxes only as it won't support burrows. More of that. And then they have some aspen bedding, which is amazing, but then they have softwood, which is toxic and should never be used for your hamster or any small animal. And yeah, they have a bunch of other beddings and most of them are safe. Okay, so I know this is ferret stuff, but I would not use this as it is fabric and is not safe and it's just not the best to use, so just letting everyone know because it's no good. Now in the bird section, there's some millet sprays, which is amazing for your hamster. Sometimes they also have oat sprays or any other ones. You can use those as long as their hamster's safe, which these are so good to use for your hamster. My hamster loves them. Now over here in the bird section, again, they have some stuff like climbing stuff. Do not use this. Hamsters are not good climbers, and it's just not safe. They have a bunch of other stuff that would not use for your hamster. And then over here, they did have this hideout. I thought it was interesting. It does have a metal thing you can screw on to the back of your cage, but since wire cages aren't the best, then this probably wouldn't work. So you would have to find a way maybe to like remove that. They also had this bowl, but it also had the wire screw on thing. So yeah. Now in the reptile section, they have lots of good stuff here. There's some grapevine, which I love. There's like also these like, I don't know, they're like different wooden hideouts. Those are good. These ones aren't though. Only grab ones that are wood. Then they have sand. You can't get any sand that has dyes or added calcium. I'm not sure about that one if it has any dyes in it, but just watch out for that. And yeah, they have lots of different options for sand. Here's some hermit crab stuff, which is usually not safe though. And then down here they have some aspen bedding, which is great for dig boxes. And then some cocoa bark, which is also amazing, and I love to use that. And yeah, the reptile section is really good for finding good stuff for your hamster. Just don't buy anything from the fish section as it's not the best. Then they had this really expensive playpen. I'm not so sure about it. I don't know how safe it is. I don't know how big it is in person. It was really interesting though, and yeah, I probably wouldn't use this though. And then they had the terrible hamster cages, which you should never buy for your hamster. They are so small and are so unsafe, so definitely do not ever get these. They're just not good. Here's like a guinea pig one that's also not good, a bunny one that's no good. Yeah, just their cages are definitely a no. And then this one was a starter kit, which is not good, and was listed for gerbils and hamsters, which is so weird because those are completely different animals that need different care. But yeah. Now in the dog section, they have these dog food bowls that you could use as a dig box. I wouldn't use this one though because it's elevated, but you can use other ones like this that are low and good for your hamster. And then they also have like these treat jars you could use to store hamster treats or food. And I thought this one was really cute. And then they have a bunch of other like dog stuff you could use as long as it's safe. Now in the cat section, if you can find like a kitten litter box and you have enough room in your hamster's cage, you can use this as a sand bath or a dig box. They are quite big though, so only if you have enough room. You don't need to get this, but I thought those were really interesting. Then they have a bunch of other litter boxes which are way too big. They wouldn't really fit in an enclosure. But then over here there's all the cat litter. Never ever use cat litter for your hamster's enclosure. It's so bad. Back to the dog stuff, they have these Whimsies. My hamster loves Whimsies. I definitely recommend them. They're so good. So these are the only like safe dog treats that I know you could use for your hamsters. I know there are other ones, but I definitely recommend you use Whimsies. They're just so good and my hamster loves them. And yeah, I definitely recommend these. Alright, at Pet Store number 2, they had some crazy fish tanks that you could use for your hamster as long as they're safe and over 75 gallons. These were so crazy and huge. These ones are a bit smaller, but I just thought that was really cool, and that's a way to get your cage. Okay, over here is some good hamster treats by Oxbow. I love Oxbow for treats. They're really good. Sorry about the airplane. Here's some chews. Make sure you get ones that aren't dyed. This one's dyed and is no good. Same thing with this one because it has the dyes. Same with these and these. But then over here, this one's great. It doesn't have any dyes on it. So that's great. And then there's some other hay and foods. Hay is great. The foods are never good though. So definitely wouldn't get any of these as it's just so low variety and no good for a hamster. And then yeah, and then over here there was some bedding. I didn't see any scented bedding, which is great. There was this one, I thought it was scented, but it isn't. You can use literally any paper bedding as long as it's not dusty, not scented, and is safe. So yeah, that's great to see. Over here there's some really pretty pieces of grapevine wood, which I love putting in my hamster's enclosure. As you see, they were quite large, but still like a decent size and weren't too big. And that's just amazing. There are ones that have holes in them, so you will need to stuff that with hamster safe moss, but otherwise these are all really great. And then above there was like these other wooden log things. I have no idea what they're called. These are great, but these like plastic or ceramic ones are not good. Just not the best. They're really heavy too. More hides, and they had some cork logs. They were a bit small. I'd probably only use them for dwarfs. Maybe some of them are good for hamsters. This one was really interesting. I liked this one a lot. And then they had this one. But yeah, they were a bit smaller, but they were still really good. And then they had some plastic hideouts. These like plasticky ceramic ones. These ones, the net, those aren't all unsafe. Would not use them. Definitely wouldn't use any of these either in your hamster's enclosure. Then over here they had some ceramic bowls, which are all great. Anything that's too big you can use as a dig box. So yeah, these were really cool and I would definitely use these. over here they had these little enclosures. These are great for travel carriers, not cages. But yeah, as long as they don't come with anything in them, they're amazing. And I do use one of these for my hamster, and I love them. And then finally, there's this box full of different pieces of cork, which is just amazing. So many of these are great for hamsters. And yeah.